Oh, that's funny that I chose Genshin Impact
Yeah, it
then.
is kind of funny. With that being said, she said it. It is Genshin Impact. Hattie, of course, this is the one that you love. You can't talk about the ups and the downfalls and whatnot about it because ultimately you enjoy the heck out of it. So go for it.
I do. So Genshin Impact, right? Um, Came out tail end, not tail end, middle pandemic, and I think that's part of the reason it shot up in popularity among us did as well, and anything that involved staying indoors did.
And free to
So
download.
good on it. Accidental advantage, but honestly, for you'll hear controversies here and there, blah blah blah. But I think what the developers have been doing, what they've really been designing, I think is brilliant. A background on me, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This might pop up during the trivia portion or the Q&A portion, but I have a master's in game design, and I currently my flesh occupation is I'm on a game team.
No way.
So I yeah, we'll talk more about that later. Um, it's not out yet, but I can talk about the game. But that's not what this one is.
Sure.
But so where others tend to look at Genshin Impact for its individual pieces, like, oh, why did they do this thing? Oh, why did they do that thing? It would be better if they did this. Um, but I'm also seeing this from the perspective of I'm intrigued by the building blocks that this game is built off of. If you're playing on your phone on occasion, I don't. I play on my phone on occasion. I play on PC most of the time. But on my phone, on occasion, it'll have a hard time loading because it's a phone and it's so much data in that game.
For sure.
And you'll see like the building blocks without the textures on it, and I think that's fascinating. Like some people will be like,
Mm.
"Oh, Genshin, what are you doing? Why are you taking so long to load?" But it's like, no, like I'm actually getting to see like that's how they've built it, and then the texture team textures onto it, and I think that's amazing. I like the faults that it has, most of the faults that it has, and I also think I won't get into what too much of the controversy
Sure.
that is, but like I see the opposite, where I see research has been done for this game. Um, Research has been done for this game in regards to like finding what foods are relevant for each of the cultures that are being represented, because each region of Genshin that we've had so far is loosely based off of a real world area. Mondstadt is based off of England with a little bit of allusions to no, sorry, Germany. It's based more off of Germany. Um, Liyue is based off of China, Inazuma is based off of Japan, and most recently Sumeru. It kind of split into two bits, where you have the jungle area that's based off of India and Southeast Asia cultures, and then you have the desert area that's based off of Egypt
Cool.
and Middle East culture. And there's criticisms about it for sure. For I think basically just the character designs, but everything else, I think they've been nailing down pat. Um, you get I've discovered that Sino is a new character that just came out. He's lovely. He's a jackal boy, which are technically wolves, but that's a different topic. But he has a voice line where he talks about his favorite food. And this is just an example of like the cultures being researched. His favorite food has rice, meat, nuts, and yogurt. That sounds like
Cool.
such a weird combination to say, but I looked it up afterwards, and it is an actual dish that exists. You don't think about sweet yogurts. Think about plain yogurt that has cucumbers and such like that, and
Ah,
it's kind of and the rice, meat, and nuts are roasted together
I see.
with some spices and such, and like that sounds amazing. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. I have it saved. I
Nice.
saved the recipe.
Put it
Hang
in
on.
the chat. So I get saying, when you think about this yogurt, don't think about, like you said, the sweet kind of fruity yogurts we typically go for. Think of more like maybe kind of a sour cream yogurt, like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
top,
yeah.
yeah.
I actually found like a straight up recipe. Oh no, wait. I don't wait. Uh, I'm not gonna send you this recipe because it's from the New York Times. I just realized, and you have to have access to it. But I remembered the name now. Hashway.
Ooh,
Hashway.
put that
I'll
in the
I'll type it
chat.
in. I'll type it in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. New York Times won't
Um,
have property over that word, I'm sure.
no, they won't have property over that word. It's a Arabic region dish. Think of it kind of
Ashway.
like a, even that article says it. Kind of like a stuffing, like a rice stuffing
Okay,
that you might have at like Thanksgiving or something.
nice.
And it sounds so good.
It does.
And so I just think that Genshin, the developers are doing a lot of research into thinking like, all right, what food do we want to represent in this from these countries?
Sure. Instead of like
What
a copy and
aspects of
paste.
what aspects of in like you there are a ton of YouTubers that delve into theories and they're able to reference real world mythology because there's a lot of real world mythology being utilized for the lore, and it creates um an escape for like trying to figure out piece all the pieces together. Even I like as I'm reading the story, I have a couple of streams that I've been going through. I finished the most recent important main story quests. And even then I was like theorizing, oh, what if that affects that and that and things and other, and then like it gets your mind going.
Ah.
Um and the one thing that I'll say that the internet is ablaze about right now because of I think one of the developers put out an article like end game content isn't being considered. And honestly, I think that's a good thing. Like, sure, there are different kinds of players in the world. There are different kinds of players
Sure.
in the world. There are the types that they want to buy a game and have the complete story experience right there so that they can go on to the next game. That's fair. Fair enough. That's not what Genshin is, and Genshin knows it. Genshin's going to be around for a few more for more years. They have more of a story to tell, and they're able to tell it. The Inazuma story quest or main story could have been dealt with better. I
Mm-hmm.
love an evolving story with a growing cast. Yes, exactly, Reeve. And the cast is ever growing for our wallet's unfortunate sake. um, but and that's a good thing. I also think I hear good things about Honkai Impact Third as well. Hoyo versus other game, their first game. But I don't care about waifus.
Ah, there you
I'm
go.
sorry, I'm not a waifu person. I like husbandos. Genshin gives me husbandos all the time, and I love it. And that's a big thing for me. Is like if the ratio is bad on that, I probably won't pick the game up unless I'm researching for some reason.
I see.
So I this is Reeve knows I go on tangents all the time, so this is basically just my excuse to tangent about a game. But I've grown to love a lot of the characters, even if some people don't like some of their designs. I like various aspects of each of their designs. Um, and even if some people are like, "Oh, this character is not as good as another one in the tier list. Why are you using it?" It's like, no, but there's so many combinations that can be used. I actually like one thing that I wrote an article. I I write articles for a website on occasion as well, unrelated to the other job that I do, um,
Nice.
about Genshin Impact. And the first article I wrote was actually about Bennett, who's this character in the game, one of the best characters in the game, by far. But so many people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't unlock his last constellation because it's bad for this character, and this character." Um, that's gonna mean nothing to you unless you play, but it's fine. But I alternatively like no. I think there's other ways to use this character. I think also it's mostly because I don't have one of the characters that people complain about the combination doesn't work with.
Ah.
Um, so I don't care. But even
That
then,
works.
like I have my wolf boy Razor. Razor's amazing. I love him. He's like my son. I've had him since I started the game back late December 2020. Or sorry, mid-December 2020, when kind of towards the beginning of the game. He was my first character that I mained that I hacked and slashed with. He fell out of favor at some point, but I've rekindled the connection there because of Bennett, getting Bennett to the C6 much to everyone's chagrin. But let's just say Bennett puts down a fire field. Fire field causes Razor to attack with fire. Razor then also can attack with a giant wolf electric stand and just cause everything to explode. And it's so much fun.
Oh,
I
nice.
don't care if it's bad.
Nah,
So,
you gotta love it. Go on.
yeah. I don't know how long this segment is supposed to be, but
Oh, however long you like. When you can just end on a high note, you can end on a low note, whatever you like.
I'll end it on a high note. I think Genshin's biggest strength, in my opinion, is maybe it's not for everyone, but it ticks a lot of different boxes for different kinds of players. Do you like to just explore around a map and find everything? Then that's there. Do you like to explore the story? There's so much story. I'm still stuck on the Aranara quests, and that's also gonna mean nothing, but that's fine. I still haven't 100%ed all the maps. I think I've only 100%ed a couple places in the first area of the game. Um, and it's also the people that like the big numbers and the whaling. The whaling is there. You can get all the characters and all the weapons at the high things. It does, the gacha could be better. The gacha could be worse. Like, I play a game called Dislight that, it's fun for different reasons, but their gacha system is poor. Their gacha system is like, we add new characters about once a month. We had like 3 characters about once a month, and they just get added into the pool of characters. And will you ever see them? I don't know. With like, it's like within 90 pulls, you're guaranteed a legend.
Wow.
Within each 20 pull, you're guaranteed an epic. But then in between, you're getting trash at this point that I already have.
Oh.
And it's mind-boggling. So at least Genshin, you have the banner, the character banner, which is good. Oh, Reeve played Dislight as well. I think Dislight's still good. I just don't like the grind.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the grind does seem like a little bit of a poor build. But Genshin's, you said, could be better, but could be worse. How does Genshin improve upon it where the other game kind of failed?
So the other game, I don't think is failing. Like the other game is making other quality of life improvements.
Sure.
I think the gacha is still trash. But Genshin, I think, really is, well, what's the phrase I'm thinking?
I don't know. I'm not a mind reader.
I think gacha does, it has been slowly making quality of life improvements. Genshin is that game where they have so much thought of in advance. It does take time for them to implement improvements.
I see.
And that is a slight fault on them for that, but it makes sense given the nature of how the game works itself. Like thinking about it, right now they are probably working on Fontaine, the next area. Like
Ooh.
there's got to be a team that's probably working on that, working on filling out the quests for that. I don't know how big their dev team is. I'll just say that, but there's probably different people working on different new event quests that will pop up each patch. That will be like the main highlight of that patch. But those are also probably being made in advance. Let me give another analogy. Magic the Gathering. Reed, you're heading out? Oh, it was good to see you. And yes, I will be streaming. I'll have to be streaming Genshin because the event quest with Razor, my boy, my son, I have not done it yet, and I need to. I need to discover who his parents are because apparently that's a plot point.
All right, drop the time in here, why don't you, Hattie? Let them know when you'll be online.
Oh, I don't know what time it'll be.
Oh, okay. Well, so we'll be streaming tomorrow, Reeve. Good to have you here. Thank you for supporting Hattie and coming on the show here. Loved your Pokemon Chaos.
Yes, thank you, Reeve, the Guard Wolf, for the Pokemon Chaos. It was good. It was very fun. What was I thinking? But to bring another card game into the analogy, Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering. Oh, Reef says thanks for hosting, Jeep.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Hey, Hattie's a wonderful guest, so it's all good. Take care, man. Have a good one.
Um, Magic the Gathering as an analogy. You know, I'm not going to go into detail, but it's a card game. Card game packs come out
Mm-hmm.
pretty much like every couple months or so.
Mm-hmm.
Those packs are thought of. They start being thought of like 2 years in advance
Wow.
in their conception of like what's going to happen with them from both the story and the design standpoint. So Genshin is probably like not too far off from that. They're probably like a year, maybe year and a half in advance in regards to the main storyline and the development of the areas, whereas individual events that aren't just repeat events are being worked on probably months in advance.
I see.
Again, thinking about it from the design standpoint.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're
Um,
thinking way ahead, and everything culminates and is leading somewhere. So.
and and I guess, well, I keep saying I'm gonna have an ending point, but maybe not. I think Sumeru is so far. I think next patch they have to stick the landing of what feels like a trilogy of patches
Hmm.
for Sumeru. But 3.0, which was like 8 weeks ago, started. You get this giant jungle area. It's multi-layered. Like you look at the map, it doesn't look much bigger than any other map, but it's like multi-level where you've got rivers at the bottom and you climb trees and do all. Oh, good night, Mecha.
Night Mecha, rest well, my friend, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you
joining us
again.
again for a great game. Thank you for all the support, Mecha.
Sumeru is so like area-wise, it's beautiful. It's multi-tiered. The music is amazing. The animals keep wanting to kill me.
Oh,
Oh, Mecha was saying
good
goodnight
night
to Reeve.
to Reeve. That was a real. Okay. Oh, okay.
Fair
Well,
enough.
yeah, there we go. The miscommunication. That's all right. That's all good. Oh, great.
All is good. Um,
Talk
but
about
yeah,
Sumeru. Sticking
yeah.
the
And
landing
the
of a
story
trilogy.
is
Yeah.
fantastic. Funny enough, this is gonna be a spoiler alert for those that haven't followed the story, but it's fine. Weirdly enough, my entire VTuber concept got outed in Genshin.
Huh?
So, you're playing the main story, and you get to Act Two of the current story, and everyone's celebrating this festival for the god that is ignored by the higher ups, but it's fine. And you go through this day with this girl named Dunyarzad, and Dunyarzad has an illness, and so she's like, I really want this festival to go off without a hitch because I might not be able to get another one. And you're just like, oh, that's sad. Anyways, you go to see this girl, Nilu, who's a playable character, coming up soon. Uh, she's gonna do this dance for the end of Sub-Zero's festival, which is a traditional dance. But the higher ups are like, no, you can't do that. It's not knowledge affiliated. Like you can't.
Uh-oh.
The arts are not knowledge. And I was just like, I was a theater kid. That hurts.
Oh.
And it just ruins everything, and everyone's sad. The day ends. You hear a beep. You hear scientists talking, and then you wake up and you keep repeating the same day over and over for some reason. Also, major spoilers, by the way. Um, so you get the help of the cute little goddess Sumeru, and she's like, I can't tell you what's happening because it'll blow your mind. You have to discover it on your own. And what's happening is that everyone is in a dream. Everyone's in a dream, in the same collective dream. They're all asleep. And the higher up evil people are stealing people's dreams for knowledge.
Oh, oh
They're
no!
like, they're evil me. And I was just like, no. My uniqueness.
Oh wow!
I was like, I feel called out. But also I called something, I guess. It's just like, why? Because it's funny. You go through like, oh, it was a time loop. No. Oh, everyone's memory is getting reset. No.
It's
They're taking everyone's dreams for knowledge. Yes. The story is really good. Like the story is really good this time around. Like you had that chapter, which was utter bonker nonsense. The first act was just introducing all the relevant characters, which is, I think, the first time they've done that really well for a patch. We got introduced to pretty much all the characters that we know are going to be coming out in future patches. Which is amazing. And
Wow.
well, there's many clips of me sipping for one of them, so I mean, have fun with that. Bye. The gosh, and the Act 3 that just came out without going into Act 3 and Act 4. Act 3 was really good. Um, you got major reveals. You got major plot reveals, and I'm sure all the theory crafters are just going wild.
For
And then
sure.
Act 4 is again like a lot of these characters that a couple of them you've met, a couple of them are new. You're investigating something, and it's like you get little mini adventures with a bunch of the playable characters that either have come out or are about to come out. And it's just like I love this. This is great. And I feel like we didn't get that enough. They're learning is actually going back to your question of like how are they improving? They improved the story a lot. Inazuma's story could have been so much better with more character interaction. Like the first for Inazuma was mostly like you get there, playable characters are helping you, but like you're mostly on your own. Whereas here, you're helping them. You're helping the people of Sumeru that actually care about their country and their god, like become better. Like the cliffhanger right now is like we have to go save the god because she's being on house arrest.
Oof.
She is a child. 500 years old, but she is a child compared to everything else.
Child for a god.
Child in god terms.
Folks, you're getting a lot of in-depth information here about Genshin. I hope you all are paying attention.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I think I will. This will be the last ending point. I think.
Okay.
Actually, because we should.
We do have more of a show, but I just want to let you enjoy. You love it, but yeah, let's hop on this big one.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. What you got?
Yeah, the last ending point is Genshin is improving over time. It keeps getting better. The characters keep becoming more lovable. The story becomes better. It is becoming better, and that's the reason I love the game. If you love whaling and spending money on everything and getting everything, that's there too. If you like making the big numbers go pew pew pew, that's there too. If you like theory crafting, that's there too. It's not a game for someone that wants immediate gratification, but it is a game that ticks a lot of boxes. Even completionists. There's a ton of achievements that I don't even have yet. And of course, then more achievements get added for you to hunt down. So there's a lot for everyone, but maybe not. It's not for everyone. Genshin Impact is good.
That's a good close right there. Give it up for Genshin Impact, everybody, for being a remarkable game. They do their research. They actually improve. It's not a stagnant game. It actually works over time. They put in the work years in advance from Hatty's observations, which are probably very accurate. And like she says, maybe not a game for everyone, but it is a game that could be for everyone if what she said it ticks a lot of boxes. I'm just taking away from what Hatty said because I was very well presented, Hatty. Thank you for this. This was a really good presentation. I always love hearing so much enthusiasm about something. It feels good listening to that. So thank you.
You'll get more of that whenever someone jumps into stream and randomly asks me a question about some kind of random knowledge fact, and I'll just go Google it, and we'll have a tangent discussion where I'm just as passionate about anything else.
She's a lover of knowledge for a reason, folks, and she's owning it up. It's a passion and it shows. Thank you again, Genshin Impact. Thank you, Mecha, for listening for all this. Thank you, Reeve. I know you've went to